I wonder whether we are still together. I don't know whether we are still together. It's been a while. And when I say it's been a while, it's been a while. And I miss you guys. There's a lot that has been happening at workplace, working at African Nazarene University, the leading university that offers online Christ-centered academic excellence. The choice of every parent that wants their child to get that character, competence, and be a global fit kind of employee. And my son actually is graduating very soon from African Nazarene University. So I believe in that university. I also admire being there because we believe in 3 C's. Character, that is, who are you? Who are you? Competence, character, competence, and community. And because of competence is about academic excellence and everything else, when we talk about character is about the person, who do you become? Are you going to impact life? And then community. And this is where I come in. And that's why I like working at African Nazarene University. I am able to be myself. I am able to serve the community because this is one employer that believes we are not just here for the sake of being here. We are here because we have an appointment with God, an appointment to serve God. And I am a believer. Sorry, I don't know what you believe in, but I believe in God, and I believe in everything else that I do. That when I think about eternity, when I think about where I will be after earth, I know I will live longest after I die. So the kind of legacy that I should be living here on earth should be one that has impacted lives. And so anything I do and my employer is behind me, it makes me feel like I want to serve and serve more. So what am I going to talk about this evening? I want to call it evening for those in Kenya, but those outside, it could be some other time. I want to talk about self-care, taking care of yourself, taking care of myself in the midst of suffering, in the midst of pain, in the midst of stress, in the midst of depression. How can you take care of yourself? 10th of this month, we were all joined together in the whole world fighting against suicide. All of us, we were fighting, holding hands together to prevent people from taking their own lives. I come from the part of Africa called Kenya, and in Kenya, a region called Central Kenya, where we have very many young men and even men over 40 taking their own lives, and especially with the negative push of COVID-19. And it's a sad, sad, sad experience. It's a sad, sad affair. And so in my little way, there is something I have done. If you could go to my YouTube account, I have done a peace dance, Jerusalem peace dance, I'm calling it. And it's because one thing is leading to another. How can you have peace in the midst of suffering? How can you have peace in the midst of hatred, in the midst of rejection, in the midst of relationship breakdowns? How can you have peace? Because if you have peace within, then you cannot think of taking your own life. When you have peace within, you cannot think of harming another person. When you have peace within, you will take care of yourself, you will take care of your family, you will take care of other people. You will stretch out, not just for yourself, but for other people. But do you know all that can happen if you know how to do self-care? When you think about self-care, it's about taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, psychologically, socially, and maybe, for majority of people, culturally. And for people who really think their body, mind, and spirit spiritually, without the help of another. So can you stand alone like this in the midst of every difficulty you're going through and you take care of yourself? Is it possible that I can be having huge, overwhelming pressure, but nothing will make me destroy myself? Is it possible? I want to tell you it's possible. Majority of you, we have been together, but you really have never known a lot about me. But I always look back and I say, if I didn't love myself with all the problems I have gone through since I was a child up to where I am, maybe I had all the reasons to take my own life. As people, I see people taking their own lives. Maybe. But because I learned from a tender age that you can be left alone in this world with your problems, with all your problems, alone like this, what are you going to do? Are you going to take your own life? Are you going to leave your projects? Are you going to live somebody else's life? Are you going to fake to be somebody else? Are you going to destroy others because you have been left all alone, all alone, all alone? Sometimes nature does not also give you what you give it. Sometimes you give kindness to the world and all you get back is hatred, bitterness, rejection. And you wonder, why am I even trying? You might be very good to your parents. You're trying to be the most obedient child, the most disciplined. Maybe you even really want to make your parents shine. But what you get from them is rejection, is a slap on your face, a lot of discouragement. You may even want to be very good in school, for those of you who are in school. And you try, I want my GPA to be up, but all you get is a low GPA. There's a subject maybe you love, you're passionate about, you're not performing very well. It could be in the workplace. You want to be the best, you want to give the best, you try always to please your employer. It doesn't work. When others are getting promotions, upward mobility, there is nothing for you. Sometimes it could be friends. You try to please them, you're the one visiting them, you're the one calling them, you're the one doing so much for your friends. And you're thinking, this is what I'm going to attract in return. And you don't get any of that. You might also find yourself wanting to please either your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your fiancé or your fiancée, or you're trying to please your wife if you're married, or your husband if you're married, and all you get is rejection. All you get is discouragement, and you get hopeless. Sometimes it could be a business you have really tried to get into. You have invested all your monies there. You have thought, wow, this is the business idea of a lifetime. And you put all your money there. Sometimes it's just a brilliant idea that makes you not sleep. And you're like, I have seen the end of this. You even take a loan, so you add on to a liability. But when you get into that business affair, everything flops. And so there are so many things I want to say that can discourage you in this world. But how resilient are you? What self-care plan do you always have? And I would like you to take me seriously here. When you have a very effective self-care plan, I have talked about those areas: socially, psychologically, emotionally. I have talked about physically, and I have talked about spiritually, and I have even talked about culturally, because we live in a world that has its own cultures. It could be the Christian culture, the Muslim culture, the Hindu culture if you're talking about faith-based. It could be your family culture, it could be your ethnic culture, it could be your racial culture. Whatever it may be, are you having a self-care plan? If you wait for other people to make you happy, you will flop desperately. If you wait for other people to always acknowledge you, you will flop desperately. But if you believe in yourself, even when you make your mistakes, own them up. That I did this mistake. I always tell people, when I was young, I made mistakes. My teenage, I made mistakes. Like I could drop a friend just like that because you have made me unhappy. I don't care. I miss those friends. As a young adult, I don't even think I knew what I wanted. When you see me talking to you today, guiding the nations and all that, I don't want to tell you that my life was smooth. It wasn't. And if you want to learn more about me, go to my YouTube account, Dr. Susan Gitao. You will see my love life story there, talking about the first time I fell in love, and how I failed desperately every now and then. But let me tell you what drives my life today is self-care. Every time I found myself in the mud, every time I found myself in the rut, I would always think of how much I love me. And I would definitely rise up, wipe off the dust. I would clear the mud. I would clear the bush. And I would move forward, loving me. And because I am a believer from the faith I come from, the Christian faith, I am reminded that I can only love my neighbor as much as I love myself. The same Bible reminds me that I can only take care of myself if I have changed my mindset. I can only take care of another person after I have taken care of myself. Even great mothers, great fathers, you cannot do anything. Karanja, I see you there. Charles, I see you there. Lillian, I see you there. Okay? I want to tell you, you cannot take care of another if you haven't taken care of yourself. And with this COVID-19 pandemic, I know right now we have forgotten whether this virus is here or not. But if you have developed that culture of washing your hands, please maintain it. The culture of social distancing, and by this, I don't want us to socially be alienated from one another. I want to talk about physical distancing. Me, I've always said the space, your own space is very critical. Very critical. When you have your own space where you can breathe, space where you can move around, you know what I mean? Even the physical space. It helps you to think through. It helps you to think wider. It helps you to think smart. So some of these habits that we have acquired, the new culture, we have acquired new habits. To me, they are helpful. We have also been reminded you can be left alone in this world, because that's what COVID-19 has been doing to most of us. We have been put in our space that you can be left alone. What would you do? What would you do? And this is where the reality of eternity, the reality of life after death hits us so hard. There are people I have seen this time, they have become very, very particular about the way they live, because the reality of death has struck us squarely well. Because COVID-19 was not choosing anyone, is not choosing anyone even now, because it's still there unless we have another upsurge when we don't take care of ourselves. Even when God loves us so much that we were spared, that's why you're watching me and listening to me. What I would like to tell you, self-care is important. So physically, how you take care of your body, your hair, your head, your feet, your hands, the whole body, how you take care of it matters a lot. Spiritually, how do you nurture your spiritual well-being? And I'm not saying here that you must be born again, but how do you think about what is beyond you? What is your purpose? I like to tell people, the minute you start getting spiritually empowered is the minute you start thinking meaningful projects in your life. You being project number 1, your family being project number 2, your employer project number 3. Because you can work. It's gonna be vanities of all vanities. If your family does not benefit from your work, if your family is not happy because of your work, then it's all useless. The monies you are making, the things you are doing out there is all useless, by the way. And we have seen people having a lot of money and all of a sudden becoming nothing and useless. So at the end of the day, it's very, very important to ask yourself, what I'm doing right now, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's with my family, friends and all that, can I be left whole? Can I be left whole? And that is why the people who are resilient, thank you so much, James Kanai, me, family, work. Yes, James. And I'm very happy because we are connecting here. I had actually said I'll talk to you, but I'm happy. And you will go far, James. You will go far and far and far. The things that people go through, they have never known that if you have encountered very emotionally draining experiences and situations, it's because spiritually maybe you have never known at all that you are being given an opportunity to create a legacy. Who are the people that move us in life anyway? We are moved by people who have stories, human stories that when they talk, you can tell they have gone through hardships. They have gone through trying moments and they overcame. So why do we run away when we are having very trying moments? You are writing a book of your life. You are writing a chapter of your life. And somebody's gonna read from you. Somebody's gonna listen to you. I am not those therapists that were trained many years in this country of Kenya. But today, because of the experiences I have gone through, like clients come and I'm like, wow, I saw that in my family. They come, I'm like, wow, I saw that in my mother. I saw that in my dad. I saw that in my sister. And I have come to realize that all families are the same. Asian, white, Africans, we have common experiences. The difference is how we approach it. And sometimes we have these excuses. Very many excuses. Oh, Africa is poor. Oh, my family is poor. Oh, in my family they are all drunkards. Oh, in my family they don't get married. Oh, in my family we don't give birth. Oh, in my family. Oh, those are excuses. I am reminded of very many people that have gone through hardships that even when you listen, even me, I may tell you my story. And you can get it on Google. If you go Google Susan Getao, Dr. Susan Getao, you're going to find my story there. Because my name is there on Google. And then you will come to appreciate that whatever I do, that's why I don't think it's such a big thing, by the way. Or whatever I say, even if it's on media, It just comes easily. You are talking about separation anxiety. The other day I was on KTN News. If you also go to KTN News, Morning Express, on Thursday, you're gonna find that we have talked about separation of children from their parents. And sometimes you may think you are never separated from your parents, but if you always lived with your aunties, your uncles, more than you did with your parents, you are separated. If you hop from one family to another, or every holiday you are taken to your aunties and uncles, you are separated. And you can look at yourself later in life. Did you form healthy relationships, or have you fought? And I think I want to talk about secure and insecure relationships on this platform. Some people have fought so hard to relate with other people. Some have been abused in those relationships because you always left when you are young. You are always seeking somebody to hook up with. You are abused by your friends, abused by your spouses, abused by anyone, and you stayed there because you did not know how to relate well. Nobody taught you. You are insecurely attached. That's why you ask yourself, why are some people dying in marriages? Why? Because somebody is saying, if I leave, where will I go? If I go, will I be loved by another person? Forgetting the self-care I'm talking about. If you always listen to yourself in all those areas of your life that I have talked about, all of them, that can I take care of myself? I can see Paul Joroge saying, yes, tell us, doctor, it's until we raise above excuses that we shall live a fulfilled life. Yes, never give excuses. And I can see Anthony Alfred, and I'm always happy, Anthony, when I see you. When I see you and I see where we have come from together, and I see what God has done for you and your family, I can't waste a minute and say, thank you, Lord. When I also see you, James Kanai, and what you have shared with me in the side chat, we need to form a group soon and very soon, so that you can see that in the inside of children, teenagers, young adults who did not get that love that maybe we are giving our children, and they may be taking advantage of it or taking it for granted, that the feelings of emptiness, the hollowness we felt as we were growing up, the codependent children that we talk about, is supposed to make you so big. You see, you felt empty. You just look at my hands. You felt empty. Inside here is emptiness. But when you become aware of yourself, inside here, you can feel in other people. And so what I'm going to talk about, because I didn't want to talk for too long so that people don't get bored, I will talk about forming secure relationships and how you can be left alone in this world. How somebody can leave you in this world alone like this. But you will afford a smile. You will grow old gracefully. You are going to be the best fruit and product that the world has ever known and seen. You are going to lack nothing. And when you lack nothing, then you have everything. Remember, I have talked all this because I want to remind you of self-care. Taking care of yourself it is a commitment. Getting somebody to be accountable to make you have self-care is something that is worth doing. You need to take care of yourself because you need yourself first and foremost. Your family needs you, the society needs you, and God needs you in one piece. You're going to take care of yourself when you know my spiritual well-being is balanced. When I know my physical well-being is also balanced. When I know my emotions, the feelings that I express most of the time is not anger, is not fear, is not anxiety, is not hurt. It is not anger that you're so angry, you have a lot of poison in you, venom, that you're going to talk more of joy, which is everlasting and continuous. You're going to talk about happiness. Oh, you're going to talk about happiness, you know. You're going to talk about being very hopeful in life. That even when things are looking so dull, you have a lot of hope in you. You have a lot of hope in you. Somebody who keeps seeing things are going to work out. You're going to be like a little child that you tell, Mommy, you know what? I'm going to buy you this car. I'm going to do, and then the kid believes you. Children that say, if my dad can cry, then everybody else can cry. If my mom can cry, then everyone else can cry. Children have faith. If you have taken good care of yourself, you will live by faith. And when you live by faith, you will be shocked that every energy surrounding you will start working towards favoring you. James, the cosmic powers must favor you so that you can help another person. I like what you're writing there. Balance of emotions, balance of everything. Shukrina, wow, Shukrina Adams. I can see you there waving back and all that. So talking about James Kanai, balance of emotion, feelings that are not negative, being helpful and hopeful. Yes, don't be negative. Even when people talk bad about you, don't just look at it from a negative point of view. They could be saying something. And it could be like you're being helped right now to make a decision. One thing I have learned along the way, and I will tell you this and take it home with you, that I don't allow toxic friends around me. You might be there, but I'm not there with you. Because I have realized I was brought here on earth for a purpose. I was brought here on earth for a mission. I am on a special assignment to heal souls. So you cannot take me away from that. It's not about money. But I have told you, when you know what your purpose is, even that money will follow you. The goodness will follow you. But you don't need discouragers around you. People are going to go back to your roots. People who can go and tell you, oh, Susan, you came from the slums, so what? I celebrate that. Susan, you know your parents are dead, you're an orphan. I know that. But I have me. And that is why self-care is very important. Whether you are working, whether you're at home, or you're relating, take care of yourself. So in this way, we will have less people becoming depressed, and we shall reduce the number of people that are dying because of depression-related complications. We will have a happy Kenya. The other day, the Mental Health Task Force report recommended a Wellness and Happiness Commission. Can you be the commission for yourself? Can you be that commission for your family? And do it without pressure. Do it easily. Every day when you wake up, fill your whole body with the breath of life. And I tell people it's as easy as breathing in through your nostrils and out through your mouth. Breathing in through your nostril and out through your mouth. You will do away with anxiety. You will do away with fear. You will do away with all the feelings of less confidence. You will do away with the feelings of rejection. You will have all energy centered on you. And we need that. Take care of yourself physically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, and socially. Know your friends, delete toxic friends, and culturally. I love it when I relate so well. When I see Shukrina there, and I'm very happy that wherever you are, Adams, you're doing a great job. I'm happy for you. You will realize you have no quarrel with any religion. When you will have defined who you are, you will let people be, because you already know who you are. You realize that all of us came from some point. And so even when you find other cultures are conflicting you, you are conflicting yourself. because nobody is going to force you to live in their culture. But do you know who you are? Do you take care of yourself? In our next discussion, because I have realized very many people are hurt by broken relationships, we are going to talk about developing secure, healthy relationships with other people. But today I remind you, take care of yourself. Have a very good self-care plan with all those areas that I have talked about, and you will never go wrong, and you will never go down with depression. And when you do it, you will remember me. Those of you who are counselors and helpers, social workers, medics, let's meet tomorrow on Zoom, 3 to 5 p.m. I know if I haven't done a poster, or if I have done it, I will repost it, that we can talk about how you can even cancel yourself. By the way, I am a believer you can also cancel yourself. So you can join me and other counselors. It's an open door kind of situation where we would like to make people counselors even in their own homes, that you can take care of me and take care of yourself. God bless you, and see you next Saturday. Thank you, thank you, thank you.